Hello, everyone. I have a wonderful patient. She is 6 weeks out from her explant. She had saline implants, 330 and 350 cc saline, and these were basically below the muscle. And now let me ask you this. You had them in now almost 21 years. How do you feel now compared to before the surgery?
Like $1,000,000, a new person.
Like what symptoms, like before the surgery, what were you feeling, and now how have you improved?
My primary symptoms would have been the joint pain. It started with the knee, went to the hip, back pain, neck pain, shoulder pain, elbow pain, a lot of tendonitis, bursitis, and could never really, the doctors were working it up and nothing, just a little bit of inflammation. Then it kind of, the last 2 years, I would say, it was thyroid problems, adrenal gland problems, hair loss, and it just kept stomach pain, GI upset. So I knew, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew something was not right. But I didn't know what that something was. Until 6 months ago, I had a positive Lyme test, which I thought was odd. And that took me down into a rabbit hole of women with breast implants actually testing positive for Lyme disease. And that was just opened the floodgates of me actually finding out that breast implant illness existed. I had never heard of it before. And it's actually hard to wrap your mind around. Your knee hurts because you have implants. Your back hurts or your hair's falling out. Your thyroid's not working because you have implants. But actually, once you start reading up and studying exactly what the implants do to you and what they're made of, regardless whether you have silicone, saline, regardless whether you've had them in for 6 months, 20 years, I think it's going to be not if it happens, it's going to be when it happens. Mm-hmm. And the sad thing is, it's just doctor after doctor after doctor, and I don't think it's talked about enough, and I don't think doctors are really aware. We go to the back doctor and they're not going to say, well, do you have implants in? You have migraines every day. It's neurology. Nobody's saying, do you have implants? So I think that is, it should be a red flag on every woman's chart. The first question a doctor should ask you is, do you have breast implants? And then go from there and work you up is really what the bottom line should be, because I think it's taken 8 years personally for myself, primary care, neurology, back doctors, chiropractors, you name it, and nobody can figure anything out.
Now, how did you know from your research that it was the implants and that you're making this bold decision to proceed with surgery?
Once I actually researched breast implant illness and then found a couple different websites and started reading stories of other women, it wasn't a coincidence. It was too bizarre that maybe there was a woman close to my age, late 40s, early 50s, healthy eater, loves to work out, and then all of a sudden she can't get out of bed because her feet are stiff and her hands are stiff. Or she'd specifically pinpoint like knee pain, and then all of a sudden she had a problem with her thyroid. Bizarre symptoms that never really were connected. It was different parts of the body, different body symptoms, but these women all had implants and were having the same symptoms I was having. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized, I know it sounds crazy, but these boobs are deadly. I mean, they really are. They will be the death of you if you really don't take a stand, wrap your mind around it, and realize that, I get people lose their hair for other reasons, or people have joint pain for other reasons, but it's one weird symptom after another in all different body parts, and no doctors can explain why. I think you really need to keep digging. And if you do have implants, you really need to research the breast implant illness.
How did you find me?
Actually, your website. When I went down the rabbit hole of positive Lyme test and then breast implants and started researching Explant, realizing then, in my opinion, there's probably a handful of doctors in the United States who actually do it correctly. Through my research, again, in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, it was very important that it was 100% end block or 100% total capsulectomy, because otherwise, if you're not getting everything, I feel like you're wasting your time. You're getting cut open just to maybe remove the implant. If you're not removing the whole entire capsule, which is full of contaminants and all the inflamed tissue, you may feel better for a month or 2 months, and in 3, 4, 5 months, your body still has all those chemicals and poison. And then you're gonna have to find a surgeon, pay again, recover again to get it done the right way. So once I actually sought out 3 different surgeons and then did consults and interviews, I knew I was gonna end up with you, Dr. Khan, because I wanted it done the right way.
You know, very important. Do it right, do it once. You see the high definition pictures, videos of the chest wall showing complete removal of the capsule and cutting open of the capsule and implant on the table. And this is that commitment, that determination that all of it must be removed and all of it must be tested. Now, you did not get the unnecessary drains. You did not get the unnecessary lift. And as you can see, you listen to my instructions very carefully, and I appreciate that. Now you're moving on very nicely, swiftly to the next phase of recovery. You have a lot of freedom. As you can see, the binder is hiding right behind you.
Thank God.
And you said something that I've not heard in the last, God knows, many years about DonJoy. So what do you have to say about that?
So the binder is actually, the name of it is DonJoy. And I said, Don did not bring me joy for 6 weeks.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be honest. I was thrilled. No drains. I love that Dr. Khan performs the surgery and no drains are necessary. The binder, I don't want to say it's a walk in the park. It really wasn't painful, to be honest with you. You'd think that the chest or the breast would hurt. The binder is your best friend and you hate him. It's needed, but it is a little suffocating. It takes a little bit of time to get used to. It's very constricting. So it's not, you wake up from surgery and it's wonderful and all unicorns and rainbows, but it was necessary. It was horrible to have other people clean my house, do my laundry, wash my hair. God bless them all. But it's only 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And that too shall pass. And in 6 weeks, thank God, now the binder's off and I will be able to start doing things on my own. But I think if you try to cheat in that 6-week period, you're setting yourself up for being suffocated with DonJoy for another 2-3 weeks if you don't.
Thank you very much first. Thank you very much for saying that. Now let me ask you this. You're very smart, resourceful, and you're very proactive as well. I like that. You have a lot of high energy, and your fatigue is down. Now you mentioned something about RFK. I want you to say that to the world.
I did see on one of the other breast implant illness recovery sites that there is a link going around that RFK to actually email him and his, cabinet directly to actually tell your story, to talk about the FDA and how they approve, these devices and they are unsafe. And I spoke to Dr. Khan and said, I believe in free choice. We all have our own free choice. I'm not here to tell somebody else they can't get implants, they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that. But honestly, if you're going to give us free choice, you're giving us free choice of devices that are detrimental to our health, that are killing some women, to be quite honest. I don't really agree that that's free choice. So in my opinion, I don't think implants should be on the market at all. They shouldn't be an option. They shouldn't be a choice because all they do is actually really, really hurt you. There's no benefit to them.
Right. And, this is very simple, very straightforward. You said a lot of things and I appreciate you. Each one of those points that you say, I agree with 100%. The implants are not safe devices. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the literature right here. And I'm just going to say, if you look over here, breast implants are not considered lifetime devices. The longer people have them, the greater the chances are that they will develop complications, some of which will require more surgery. And as you can see, this is the advertisement itself. And you see the second part about the BIALCL, you will see Patients receiving breast implants have reported a variety of systemic symptoms such as joint pain, muscle aches. Remember, these are the hallmark features of what is breast implant illness. And as you will see, some patients report complete resolution of symptoms when the implants are removed without replacement. And the point here is, you know, there will come a matter of time. I just saw my patient right before. She had implants just for 5 years, and she had the ruptured silicone implant from 2020. I have another patient, 89 years of age, with a ruptured right silicone implant, and she has had her implants from 1973. And look, she's got a rupture, she's got pain, she's having difficulty living literally with every breath because of the pain tenderness, and now she's going to get the cardiac clearance to proceed with the surgery. You know, I have to do her surgery at the hospital, not because it's elective, but because, you know, she is very much hurting. And the bottom line here is, the implants are detrimental, and we're going to go ahead and certainly raise this awareness with RFK. Hopefully he's the new voice, you know, that will listen to our voices and who will understand the pain and misery that you're going through. What would you say to someone who's interested in getting implants, and we'll end with that?
I would say they definitely need to dig deep. Dig deep. I mean, you can always find information to support your train of thought, right? You can say you want implants, and you can go to a bunch of different web pages that are saying, you know, how great they are and how women have had them for years and never had a problem, and get them put in and, you know, redone after so many years, and they love them and couldn't live without them. But then, you know, if that's what you're going to do, you need to go down the other path and find all the web pages or the websites where it tells you exactly what breast implant illness is, and, you know, what it can do to you. I mean, you may enjoy those boobs for a couple of years and not realize that. And with breast implant illness, I think what a lot of people don't realize until after the fact is it creeps up on you. It's not you wake up one day and you feel horrible, or you get your implants and 3 months later you feel horrible, and then you're like, oh, it was the implants. I mean, personally for myself, it was 14 years later and started with tendonitis in an elbow, and then basically spread over 8 years, every joint in my body. So it creeps up to where you're really not thinking it could be. And I think that's how it kind of pulls the wool over your eyes, really. How these doctors and myself are chasing a nerve problem, a joint problem, a bone problem, a neurological problem, and it was never that in the first place. So I think really you need to do your research. And to be honest, I hate to say it, but it's a waste of money. I mean, I could have had a great time with the $20-some thousand I've spent in Vegas on getting boobs in and getting boobs out. All money wasted in my mind. Live and learn. I've been there. We've all been there and we've done it. But if somebody can tell you just don't do it, just don't do it. And I know I was probably that person. Somebody told me not to do it. My mind was set. But I never even heard this existed back in the 2000s, right? And now I think people are talking. Women are saying, look, this isn't such a great idea. Maybe it was a great idea back in the 90s when they were it was all about the boobs and everybody was getting them. And now look we were all on that bandwagon and it wasn't such a great idea. So I think we're just trying to save the future generations of, I don't care if you're a double A, a double D, whatever you are, everybody's different for a reason. Just leave yourself the way you are. You'll be better off in the long run, let me tell you.
Do no harm. It's not worth the pain and the misery. Ultimately, sooner or later, just like that, what I read, they're not lifetime devices. You will pay the price.
Yep.
And unfortunately, this past week, I've seen someone all the way from age 22 hurting and all the way to age 89 hurting. And now, as you will see, you have that freedom. All the capsule was removed. Remember, anyone can remove implants, but it's all about the capsule. And number two, all what was removed was tested. So, you have that peace of mind. It's not that very rare lymphoma. And now you have that peace and freedom to go about, and you have no worries for the rest of your life. All right. Now, thanks for sharing your journey. You said very important points, and you said it very well, something that I could not say. Thank you.
Thanks.